Welcome everybody back to the Figure Kit Garage. Brent Krug coming back at you with Blast from the Past Part 2. This review is of the Streamline Pictures Modelworks Heavy Metal Kit, based on the artwork of Oscar Ciccioni, and the figure is sculpted with additional design by Terry Lattimer. This kit is 35 overall pieces. As you can see, not all of it fits into the picture because it's scattered all over my workbench. Very, very old casting, released in 1995. Streamline was responsible for the release of the kit of Goro from the video game Mortal Kombat, which I did have back in the day. These kits are extremely rare, as much as any. For the overall piece count, this is going to be a lot of work, a lot of seam lines, a lot of pinning, to say the least. And we'll start off with the base. An extra bag of parts and pieces here. I'm not going to dump those out because there's a lot of small parts to it. The bottom of the base, very simple circular metal design. And then you have the infamous heavy metal logo that goes right there in the front. Love that logo. Big fan of the animated film and the magazine. I have been for a lot of years. And the chance to paint up that logo for once, I'm going to really enjoy that a lot. Have to really do that justice. Lots of side detail on the nameplate. Detail in the back for where a lot of the hoses and wires are supposed to be protruding from on the robot itself. A little more side detail. Steel girders that go at the back corner. Wish I had enough room to be able to show you guys how this thing fits together. Nice bolt detail all the way across. The rivets are nicely rendered. Angle iron in the back for the cross beam that's actually going to sit in those corners. Not able to fit this one together either. A lot of flashing from the casting process, a lot of pour spout cleanup. Judging from the height of it, it's going to sit right around a hair under 12 inches tall. It's rendered in 1/6 scale. And there's the cross beam that will actually sit like this when it's finished. Sorry about that. Ciccioni across the girder, kind of a nice little touch. A few more rivets rendered in. Need to be sanded a little bit, but kits from the 90s, they were never perfect. Nicely engraved. On the back side, showing Terry Lattimer's name and Mr. Ciccioni's name. And we'll start off with the robot, which there are quite a few pieces to render. I'm not going to be able to show them all, but we'll start off with the upper chest and abdomen area. Detailed gears and electronics. Beautiful detail in the metalwork. Little number sculpted across his back. Not sure what that's supposed to be for, but I'm sure I'll figure that out at some point. I'll pause real quick. Be right back. Okay, we're back. Minor momentary delay. We're going to go into the left arm. There are some seam lines rendered in. Little indentation in his right arm where the lady is going to sit. She's very suggestively posed, I won't lie to you. Nice cable work all the way throughout. This is going to make dry brushing an absolute joy. Rust and weathering and everything else that goes along with it. It's going to be a lot of fun to do. Just getting it put together is going to be a real pain. Go to the left hand. See all the gears and the joints. Not very, not detailed on the palm of the hand because that's not even going to be seen at all. Flashing from the casting process in between the fingers. No big deal. Yeah, these kits were not short of flash cleaning, to say the least. The right hand, just like the left, gears and fingers, nicely rendered. The right arm, more cables, gears, screws, bolts, seam lines added in. This is going to be a fun one to do. And this is the first part of the lower half to the knees. Terry Lattimer did a really good job of rendering this in a three-dimensional sculpt off the original art. More gears and electronics and hydraulics exposed, it looks like. Little radiator vent sculpted in. Nice little touch. A lot of flashing around the casting vents to get cleaned up. That'll be something pretty wild. Then the right leg, which will sit like this. All the gears and pistons, cables, internal workings of the robot itself, nicely rendered. Even the bottom of the feet. Got that done really, really nice. Terry did a good job. Really, really good job. And the left calf to foot, showing off all the gears again. No exposed panels this time. Really cool. If you're definitely a heavy metal fan, then this kit is right up your alley. Then we have, this is part of the ladies' welding outfit. I'm not exactly sure where this is going to fit in. I have to look through the directions very carefully when I build this so I know exactly where it's going. A lot of mold lines to clean up on that. Maybe some nice dry brushing and washing and shading. Another piece of the welder's outfit. Oh, robot's head. More metal work, even the spine detail, nicely done. Then we move on to the lady herself. And parts of her are sculpted anatomically correct as well, although they are not visible. They can be seen through the clothing, especially her underwear, which is part of her overall outfit. And then I believe that says part of his right hand will actually fit in those indentations. Have to heat up that finger a little bit to get it to bend in properly. Excellent sculpt. I believe the left hand comes around like so. Yep. Fits in nicely just like that. Really cool detail. Nice way of setting it up so you can support her, but that'll have to be pinned without a doubt. Not going to trust glue to hold her up. Then her face. Eyes closed in sheer ecstasy. If you've seen this kit, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And the hood should fit just like so. Her head will hang back just like that. Teeth details nicely done, I got to admit. Yeah, going to be a lot of cleanup on this one. That's why I'm really not upset. I've done these kits for years and mold lines are nothing new anymore. Left arm and hand all in one piece. Although there are holes for the pegs to fit into, I'm going to wind up filling those in and then cutting those pegs off and then pinning them myself. Just because of the fact I'd rather have a metal pin than a plastic peg in case something ever bumps it, the arm doesn't break off, and I wind up having to redo it all over again. Not going to take that chance. Glove nicely rendered. Sorry about the focus. God, I don't know why this thing doesn't want to focus right. There we go. Kind of light detail on the welder's gloves. A little bit of dry brushing and washes that'll bring that detail out. Right hand, rendered the exact same way. And that is separate from the right arm, which pinning that'll be a little bit of a challenge because the area is so small that I'll be dealing with. And more mold lines. Then the right leg. You know, for a kit this old, 25 years, I'm fairly surprised that the resin's held up quite well. There's no, they'll have to be washed without a doubt. Mold release and all, you know, never hurts to be too careful. Foot detail rendered very nicely. I was actually listening to Heavy Metal by Sammy Hagar while I was unboxing this. Go figure. And other little parts and pieces that will go with him. Parts of his leg. Lay the back part of his calf. And I think one of them is the panel off of his chest, which actually fits back on. But I believe it's supposed to be left off to leave that panel exposed. And then the welder's torch that she uses to repair him. And I'll show you a shot of the box art here in just one second. Then we have the old school building instructions. Photocopied, but not everything came with instructions back in the day. You had to kind of figure it out as you went. And originally this this kit did come with bundles of wire. But unfortunately, they were not included in with the kit. I'm not sure what happened to them. I'm not upset. You know, minor. That's a minor thing. I can go get guitar string and all gauges of wire. You know, a hardware store and the music store, and do it up the right way. I'm also planning on using lights here in the back side of the base. Probably put in some LEDs. Light it up and give it a little bit more of a cool effect to go along with it. Even though they're bolts, you know, might as well try and light them up, do something different. And this is the original, get that light off of there. This is the original box art for the kit, full color photo. Cold cast resin, go figure. Beautiful piece. Beautiful piece. I know the sticker on the box says Avatar Creations, but underneath it does say Streamline Pictures because they did have a license to do heavy metal back in the day. So there we have it. Heavy metal. Fiction beyond imagination. This has been a heck of a box weekend for both myself and Virginia. Two very, very old kits that are still in fantastic shape and condition. Definitely going to have a lot of fun building and painting both. I know when it comes to Lady Slave, she's going to be driving herself nuts to make sure it looks perfect. For heavy metal, I'm going to have a lot on my hands with seam lines and pinning, and definitely making sure this thing looks as perfect as possible when it's done. But thank you all for tuning in for part 2 of Blast from the Past. Hopefully we'll have more kit reviews for you shortly. So stay safe, stay healthy, have a good night, folks. Build a kit.